The Nexus Medical Research Facility was the most advanced biological laboratory in the galaxy. Located in orbit around a star system neutral to all species, it housed the finest medical minds from across the universe. Doctors, surgeons, and genetic engineers from 100 different species worked together to solve the most complex medical mysteries. But nothing had prepared them for the arrival of Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a human from Earth. Dr. Kale, the facility's director, greeted Sarah in the main laboratory. Around them, advanced holographic displays showed genetic sequences, molecular structures, and disease models. Everything was sterile, organized, and perfectly designed for beings who approached medicine as a precise science. "Welcome to Nexus," Kale said formally. "We've reviewed your credentials. Your understanding of human physiology is acceptable. However, you must understand our protocols. We follow strict procedures. Every action is calculated. Every variable is controlled." Sarah nodded, absorbing the information as she looked around the immaculate lab. "I understand. Where should I start?" "We're currently researching a disease affecting the ethereal population," explained Dr. Vexthar, a crystalline being who specialized in exotic biology. "It's a degenerative neural condition. We've been studying it for 3 years with no progress. Your perspective might be refreshing." Vexthar led Sarah to a containment chamber where samples of ethereal neural tissue floated in preservation fluid. Holographic displays showed intricate molecular breakdowns. The data was comprehensive and meticulously organized. Sarah studied it for 5 minutes in silence. "Have you tried introducing environmental stress?" she asked suddenly. The entire lab fell silent. Kale turned to her. "Stress? This is a genetic disease. Stress is irrelevant. On Earth, we have a concept called stress-induced degradation," Sarah explained. "Organisms don't exist in isolation. They exist in response to their environment. If something is degrading, maybe it's not just about the genetics. Maybe it's about what triggers the genetic expression." Vexthar shook his head. "We've controlled for every environmental variable. Temperature, pressure, chemical composition, all optimal." "Exactly," Sarah said. "It's too optimal. What if the disease only manifests under normal conditions? What if it's a response to something your controlled environment is preventing?" The assembled doctors exchanged skeptical glances, but Sarah had already moved to a nearby workstation. Without asking permission, she began accessing the raw data files. "Wait," a Vorathian physician objected. "Those files require authorization clearance." "I see it," Sarah interrupted, pointing at a pattern in the data that no one else had noticed. "Look here. The neural degradation accelerates during periods of low-level electromagnetic fluctuation. It's consistent across all samples." She pulled up more files, cross-referencing with ethereal environmental data from their homeworld. "Your homeworld has a strong magnetosphere. Constant electromagnetic activity. But here, in this optimal lab environment, you've shielded everything. The ethereal cells are responding to the absence of something they evolved to expect." Within hours, Sarah had modified the lab conditions. She introduced carefully calibrated electromagnetic fields matching ethereal homeworld patterns. The effect was immediate and dramatic, the neural degradation reversed. But what happened next shocked the entire facility. Sarah approached one of the primary research projects, a genetic modification meant to prevent cancer in a silicon-based life form. She reviewed it for minutes, then began asking questions that challenged 3 years of research. "Why are you using this protein pathway?" she asked. "It's functionally similar to a cancer prevention mechanism I've seen in Earth organisms. But you're engineering it completely differently." A Glacian researcher became defensive. "We're using optimal efficiency parameters." "You're overthinking it," Sarah interrupted gently. "Sometimes the old, messy biological solutions work better than the engineered ones. Life has been solving these problems for billions of years. Maybe instead of fighting the process, you should be learning from it. Over the next weeks, Sarah's approach began transforming the entire facility. She didn't bring advanced technology or superior intellect. What she brought was something more valuable: intuition born from survival. Earth biology was inefficient, messy, and crude compared to the elegant engineering of alien species. But it was also incredibly robust. It solved problems through iteration, adaptation, and experimentation, not through perfect theoretical planning. When a researcher's modification failed spectacularly, Sarah didn't see it as a setback. She saw it as data. She asked what could be learned from failure. She suggested trying again with minor variations. She celebrated partial successes as stepping stones. The other doctors found this approach chaotic and unprofessional. But within 3 months, Nexus had solved more medical mysteries than in the previous 5 years combined. Dr. Kalath finally understood. "You're thinking like a survivor," he said to Sarah. "Not like an engineer." Sarah smiled. "On Earth, if your solution doesn't work, you die. So we got really good at adapting on the fly. We don't have the luxury of waiting for the perfect answer. We find good enough answers and then improve them." As Sarah continued her work at Nexus, the facility's entire philosophy began to shift. The most advanced medical research in the galaxy had learned something from the least advanced species: sometimes the path to discovery wasn't perfection, it was persistence, experimentation, and the willingness to fail forward. The Deathworlder doctor had brought something no amount of technological advancement could provide: the humble wisdom that life itself had already discovered.